Do you hate EVs? And are you cringing about the fact that every other car launched in our country right now is an EV? Well, BMW has just launched a new one, the iX1, but in the long wheelbase format. And stick around for this video because I think I can convince you to be an EV admirer by the end of it.
Okay, let it be known. I'm working hard when I ain't on the phone. This ain't a home, this ain't a phone.
Now, before I start talking to you about the car, let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to log into the My BMW app, turn on the air conditioning using the remote services so that the cabin is cool when I actually get into it. Let me start by giving you 3 fun facts about this iX1. First, it is being locally assembled in India. Second, India is the first country to get this long wheelbase version of the iX1 even before China. And third, well, we usually tell you the price of the car right at the end, but I have to start with it. At a 49 lakh rupee introductory price, it is 1.8 lakhs cheaper than even its ICE counterpart in standard wheelbase. BMW is really going for value here. So let's start by talking about the design of this car. It's very similar to the X1 except for this different grille treatment which frankly looks fabulous in the reflection of the sun. And on the side are these 18-inch alloy wheels and the car rides on tubeless tires. The most noticeable difference though is this 4.6 meter length, which is 116 mm longer than the regular car, and the wheelbase is longer by 108 mm. Fun fact, it's just 65 mm shorter than an X3. Now on the inside, firstly I'm glad that I was able to remotely turn on that AC because it's a warm day and I needed this cabin to be cool to be able to speak to you. Now if you see, there's a lot of space. In fact, there's 109 mm of extra space over the standard wheelbase X1. But if you also see, my knees are a little up and frankly, it might just be a little uncomfortable for a longer distance, and that is where this long wheelbase comes into its own, because I can now slide over my legs like this and my under thighs come back to the cushion, making this a comfortable place to be in. This cushion itself is also 15 mm longer than what it is in the standard wheelbase. And I get this recline option where the maximum recline goes to about 28.5 degrees. And to add as a cherry on the top is this massive panoramic sunroof, which measures at about 9 square feet. It's huge. It can't open, but it's huge and it's airy. Now the only thing missing from this part is sun blinds. Frankly, that's been a miss with BMW for a lot of their cars, and it's gonna be like that because globally BMW has moved to tinted glasses, whereas Indian regulations don't allow for that. So we are stuck with this transparent glass and a sun on our face. The boot space is 490 litres, which is 80 litres down from the space of the standard wheelbase car. And BMW will sell you a spare donut wheel with it as an accessory, which will sit on the top of the boot. On to the driver's seat now. Now in the driver's seat, these seats are extremely comfortable and I love these side bolstering because they keep you in place, especially if you're going fast around a corner. Though I'm not entirely sure how they will be for a healthier built person. And in fact, if you're one of them, do let us know in the comments how you find these seats once you experience this vehicle. Now at the same time, I think the theme that this car is going for is minimalistic luxury. Now this does not have the sense of occasion of a Mercedes EQA, but by no means this is a bad place to be in. In fact, I prefer this entire theme of the way BMW is designed its entire cockpit and layout. It's dominated by this 2-part panoramic screen, one which is a touch screen which lets you select, choose and manage the entire infotainment system. The other is your cockpit display. I can actually even choose my modes and change the theme of the entire car by selecting any one of these, which changes the ambient lighting, opens or closes the sunroof and the way the display is in front of you. Other than that, you also get 2 USB Type-C chargers here, 2 more at the back, a wireless charger here, a 12-volt socket over here. And the center console primarily has this toggle switch for the gear selector, volume button and mute button, the parking lights and the start stop button, and this small shallow storage space. In fact, the only real complaint I have about this cockpit is the lack of physical buttons here. In fact, there are only two real physical buttons, the front and rear defoggers. Other than that, everything is inside this infotainment screen. In fact, I even have to go inside this to change the speed of the fan on the AC. Apart from that, this car also has a 12-speaker Harman Kardon system, 205 watts, sounds pretty good. I would rate it, say, somewhere about 7 out of 10. There are better systems in the market, but I don't think this will disappoint you either. The other features you get are adaptive LED headlamps which adjust the beam basis the traffic conditions, digital key plus remote features like I showed you earlier, and pure vegan upholstery, though it does not get ventilated seats. Now let me tell you how this BMW drives. Now the first thing I notice when I press this start button is that it doesn't have the same exact startup sound as it is in the i5 or the i7. It's like the slightly toned down version of the same thing. It still sounds great in my opinion, but I like that Hans Zimmer sound. And one more thing that you need to see is if I buckle this seat up, the seat moves forward into my own position, which is saved in its profile. And if I unbuckle it, the seat will go back, making it easy for me to get out of the car. Now I'm going to start with the acceleration test. Sport mode, and we are go. Now this car produces 205 horsepower and 250 Newton meters of torque. BMW claims a 0 to 100 of 8.6 seconds. And I have achieved on the V-Box 8.57 seconds, so that's pretty accurate. Now this is not hair-raisingly quick, it's not even as quick as a EV6 or even an Ioniq 5, but yet I think this is absolutely perfect for your city conditions, even your highway drives. My guess is you can tune it to go faster, but that'll affect the range. And that's why BMW has kept this at a very comfortable 8.6 seconds. But the one thing that really sticks out about the driving of this car is its ride quality. It is sublime. It is superb. So much so the Mercedes, the crown holders of ride quality, I think have lost it to BMW since this generation of cars. The 5 Series, the 7 Series, they're absolutely amazing. And even in this, the X1 long wheelbase, it is beautiful to drive. You really have to experience it to believe it. It's comfortable, it's pliant, it's soft, and yet it's hard enough that the car does not lose composure on corners. In fact, I enjoyed driving this car on corners. The car remained stable, did not show signs of understeer until you really overspeed it. And most importantly, at cornering, I think this car remains predictable. That's the trouble with most EVs. Because of the additional weight, they've not been able to manage how that weight is distributed well, and I think BMW have got this right, because it does not feel that it's going to go wayward, it's not going to lose composure. I really like how this car drives. And then there is the steering. In the recent past, BMW steerings have really lost their feel, they've lost their life in the ambition to become extremely soft and make it easy to maneuver the cars. But with this one, I think BMW is slowly getting back to what their steerings used to feel like. It's not there yet. It's still light in the city and weighs up as the speed goes higher, which is a good feeling. It's still not as hard as it used to be 2 generations ago, but I still prefer this over what, let's say, for example, an X5 steering is any day. Now, BMW claims a MIDC range of about 531 kilometers. I'm not sure if that's what the car will really give in its real-life conditions. I do expect, the way we've been driving it since yesterday, I do expect it to give about 400 to 450 kilometers as range in city mixed with highway conditions, which is not bad at all. In fact, what I like to do when I'm in city conditions is to press this toggle down, bring it to the B, which basically means brake region, and drive this car in its one pedal mode. increasing its efficiency and my driving comfort. As for its charging, if you use a 11 kilowatt hour AC charger, the car will charge in about 6.5 hours to 100%. And if you use a 130 kilowatt hour charger, this car will charge from 10 to 80% in just about half an hour. All in all, I think this car drives really well, rides even better, cocoons you in its cabin, makes you feel safe, secure and comfortable. In fact, this might just be that BMW which the enthusiasts don't fret over it becoming a long wheelbase. The X1 was never meant to set the track times on fire. It was always meant to be a comfortable urban to highway cruiser, and that's what this car does even better now. Since 2017, the X1 has probably been BMW's most important product for volume. It's been the largest seller in this segment, and BMW is not ready to loosen their grip on this. In fact, they want every customer who probably wants to buy a premium car to consider this, and you should, because its nearest competitor, the Mercedes EQA, costs 18 lakhs more than this, and it comes in standard wheelbase. Now the iX1 long wheelbase comes in only one variant, the fully loaded M Sport variant. And I think at 49 lakhs, this car sweeps the floor with the competition. In fact, if you're looking at a Seltos or a XUV 700 or a Harrier, I seriously suggest having a look at this as well. So what do you think about this iX1 long wheelbase? Do let us know in the comments. And as usual, if you have any questions, do drop them and we will reply to them.